So, lockdown, a few local people in Flamborough died during lockdown. Not necessarily through coronavirus, but they were elderly, and I would have liked to have gone to the funeral, but it's one of them. With limited numbers, you don't want to be forcing yourself into a funeral for people who are loved ones and taking their place. It's not like a team event. You'd have to go. It would have been nice. I've found a different way to pay my respects to these people, but personally, I've lost two people. One was a good friend, Margaret. She features on one of the videos. Two of the videos actually on this channel. She was a caravan owner up at Thornwick Bay, and I knew her for a lot of years, and very lovely, family oriented people, very witty. She was very much a live wire. She used to write poetry. She used to make me smile on a regular basis, and she's gone. I mean, her husband Dave died not too long ago, so he was very ill, and he kind of is one of those things where he was kind of disappearing in front of your eyes every time you saw him, a bit like my Uncle Arthur did, to be fair. A bit shocking, and Margaret has a lovely big network of family, and she's a total live wire, and everyone's gonna miss her, obviously. I know I am, because I used to talk to her on Facebook a lot in these latter years, obviously not working on the park where she is now. Well, she was, and it's a real shame, I think, that she's gone. But the thing about that is, it's just another one of them. She's had a really fantastic life, and her daughters I'm in contact with her. There's no way that they could not spend several hours talking about all the happy memories and fun what they had with the family, and that to me is a big life lesson, because life is terribly short, and it's not, with this coronavirus coming and taking away just over 40,000 people that we know of. The figures that may be accurate, but a lot of people who wouldn't have died this year have died for whatever reason you want to dream up. Each one's a family whose sort of stories come to an end, and that's a real sad thing. So it just puts into a lot of perspective. It does for me, obviously. If you recall these videos, when I quit my corporate job and moved to a different thing, that was what motivated them. That was a personal choice, but obviously these things are worldwide, countrywide. So what ramifications does that have for our economy and all our jobs going forward? It's going to be an interesting one for people, because life is too short. We spend too much time worrying about our jobs, and not far enough time talking to our family or looking at our communities and wondering what we can do. Some of these riots that have happened around the world, it brings it all back a little bit of how much are people bottling stuff up, how much they're sitting on things and not voicing any concerns, or even brave enough or savvy enough to create any real change in their life, if on a micro level or on a bigger macro level. How many of these activists have stood for government? I don't know. It's a question I think needs asking. If you're really dissatisfied with your life, do something about it. Change the narrative. I'm always looking for things. I sometimes think in life I've missed something that I should have been doing, but I don't know what. But whatever it is I'm doing at that point, I try to do the best I could possibly do. I love sales, I love marketing, but is there a role out there that fits me better? Maybe, but I just don't know what that is, and so I make the most of what I've got, or evolve the one I've got, which is what I did before, back in the day when I took the original role up at Thornwick. I made it my own, and that's what life is. You know, the situation, make it your own. You got to live your life either way. You can't just do nothing or suffer forever. You know, that's just it's not what life's for. Going back to the basics of instinct and being like an animal. You know, would an animal stay in a situation that made it uncomfortable or stressed out? No, they wouldn't. They would leave. That's why the fight or flight instinct is there. You have a fight to change it, or get the hell out of there. And that's what life and nature is. But as humans, we do sort of push against it, and you know, we take it all on board, and sometimes we have it as a cross to bear. Some people actually like that. Maybe it's for attention or something, but you know what ultimately leads to is illness and despair, and being a martyr like that doesn't get you anywhere really. So that's the point. You gotta be positive. You gotta get out there, change your life. If you don't like it, change it, because when it's gone, you're gone, and that's it. Yeah, the other person who's left is my cousin Paul. Due to a family rift in the 12th century, we never really got together as a family in that respect, so I didn't really know him as I would have liked. It wasn't until I was maybe sort of 18, or 17, 18, that I knew him from going out on a night. I'd come across him on a night out, and you know, Bridlington being a very small town, at that time I did have shops, but not many. Not like now where there's bugger all. I'd walk into, I'd be stood there in Liberties or, you know, or the George having a pint. I'd turn round and it'd be like a doppelganger. He'd be there wearing the same clothes, the same hair, and he was pretty much the same as me with blue eyes, and it was really bizarre. It was what I liked about him. He was so funny, and he was like me with my granddad's eyes, and that was really interesting to me. I love my granddad, and yeah, and a few times Paul was there, got me into a few scrapes, but also got me out of a couple. And I wish I'd known him more. I wish I'd known him better. And there's a whole extended family that I don't really know who are local. One of them I work with actually. I'm very grateful for that. Now, because I get to know him a little bit better, just through work obviously, but it's something, isn't it? It's a part of yourself that you just don't know anything about. So, you know, two people have gone, and when Paul died, you know, he was very much into coaching football and training young children to play football in Bridlington. And he was massively involved with the Telegraph pub in Bridlington, so they did like a really good sort of turnout procession through the town, and they lined the streets, and I watched it live on the internet. I didn't feel I should go to that again. It's one of those things, when people are in grief, it's really hard to maintain social distancing, but a lot of those people I didn't really know or know at all, and I don't want to be there having to explain who I am, why I'm there, looking a bit like him as well. It's a bit of an odd one, you know. Let people grieve, and you know, I'll find my own way through that. Margaret, yeah, another light gone out, so it's been an odd one. What I'm looking for, you know, she was so good with her poems, a bit like Pam Ayres, if you've ever heard of Pam Ayres. I need to find a poem she gave me years ago. I'd love to find that. She wrote it and gave it to me one afternoon, like a scrap of paper. So there you go, is a poem, and I'd love to get that back, and do a video of it, because you know there's not enough of her poetry out there, and I'd love to sort of bring her humour out and spit it out onto the internet, really, so people can see what a great laugh she was, and share her laughs with everybody else.